can't stop playing Metaphor. It's one of those games where you blink and it's been 5 hours. And like, don't get me wrong, it's awesome. But have you been playing and wondering what the heck is up with these enemy designs? Like, Persona and SMT enjoyers are pretty much like already desensitized to this kind of stuff, which is why, at least in the beginning, I wasn't really thinking twice. And like, sure, when I saw these guys, you know, me and chat went on a 15-minute tangent about deviled eggs. Cause you know why? Deviled eggs are delicious. Little spicy mustard, little gray poop on. Come on. I'd eat this thing. Anyway, eventually you get to the first big dungeon boss, and I'm sure I was not the only one who reacted this way. What is up on the plate?
Surely to strike there would give it
What?
force.
I'm not gonna make it. This is so awesome. And it was at this moment I thought for the first time, is this truly just a boss that's weird for the sake of being weird? Or is there something greater at play here? Like, is this a reference? Are we perhaps experiencing a little bit of symbolism? Yes. The answer is yes. So this is a painting by a Dutch guy named Bosch. Now, this guy like had to have something going on, because he was just infamous for going in on these weird, grisly, macabre depictions of hell. He lived in the late 1400s in the Netherlands, and he did these big oil paintings on slabs of wood. Oak, to be exact.
Oh.
Also, if you see me sweating, no you don't. But yeah, he painted a lot of really weird and like cool shit. I really don't mean weird in a bad way. I love weird stuff. His art was especially preoccupied with stuff like human desire, fear, and a lot of stuff that pertains, perhaps unsurprisingly, to religion and Christianity. And beyond his art, we don't really know that much about Bosch. He didn't leave behind any notes or diaries or anything, no letters, just this stuff. And he was most famous for making works of art called triptychs. They're these sort of like 3D trifold things. It's basically like a science fair poster for super churchy dudes in the 1400s. And really, there are some super impressive ones that are like painted or perhaps wood carved, not only on these inner 3 panels, but you can also close them, and then the outer 2 panels are also painted or carved. Like, hello? And like I mentioned, Bosch did make his triptychs on wood. Bonus fact, Bosch never dated his works, but he did sign a lot of them, which was really not common at the time. Who knows why he did any of this stuff? This guy was kind of a fucking mystery, as was the age of his paintings, because he didn't put any dates on them. But scientists and art historians have been able to date his art because he painted them on slabs of oak.
Oh.
So they can do dendrochronology, aka counting the tree rings in a very scientific way, to see how old the paintings are. Kinda cool. But yeah, we know that Bosch made at least 16 of these trifold bad boys in his lifetime. Perhaps the most famous is this guy. It's called the Garden of Earthly Delights. It is a triptych, so it has these 3 inner panels. The left one is supposed to be heaven, the middle is earth, and the right one is supposed to be hell. You can also close it up, and those 2 outer panels show what seems to be the planet on the 3rd day of creation in the Bible. To be clear, I am not an especially churchy girl. If I say anything wrong about religion, please just correct me. I'm willing to learn. Please be nice to me. But yeah, so outside you don't see any plants or animals, but then you open it and it's like, bam, animals, humans engaging in pleasure, being punished. At least that's what some folks think. Lots of people say that this is what happens when you give into temptation. Music, gambling, hanky-panky, the communal eating of the berry in the lake, returning to the egg, playing too much Bolitro. We all know what this leads to. Getting eaten by a vaguely avian creature sitting in a high chair with a cauldron on its head and vases on its feet while birds fly out of your ass. So yeah, sin equals bad. This is what's wrong with society today, or in the 1400s or whatever. So how then, you might be asking, does this link back to the Game of the Year contender Metaphor ReFantazio? Well, there's this guy, which art historians call Tree Man. And this actually isn't the first time that Bosch even drew him. He's kind of like this recurring character in the Bosch verse. In fact, Tree Man might even be a self-insert for Bosch himself. This modern art historian named Hans Belting, he thinks that this is a self-portrait of Bosch, which no. He even has this kind of like side-eye expression on his face that's like, see, I tried to tell you. This is what happens when you sin. So when an almost exact 3D replica of Tree Man shows up in Metaphor, it's almost almost like they're saying this is what happens when humans sin. Are the humans we see in metaphor a product of a society that of capital S sinned? And really, all the humans we see in metaphor are straight out of Bosch's hell paintings. And this dude isn't even the only member of the Bosch cinematic universe to show up in the game. Wolves in the painting? Wolves in the game. Egg guy in the painting, egg guy in the game. Weird owl apple guy in the painting, weird owl apple guy in the game. There are even smaller details, like when you fight that trio, or as they put it, the triumvirate of these white clads that come down from the elevator when you're trying to like ascend in the Grand Cathedral. Could that be a reference to the trio of panels in the Garden of Earthly Delights? And even just in general, the goal of the whole first dungeon is to like ascend the Grand Cathedral, as if ascending to the heavens. If those references feel like too much of a stretch for you, consider the tooth. On the back of this tooth, it has the weird symbol from the ear knife in the Garden of Earthly Delights. As far as my baseline research shows around the internet, nobody really knows what this symbol is. Is it just a B for Bosch? Do you know what it is? Please tell me. Anyway, I definitely have not finished the game yet. I am only 15 hours in, but I'm really curious to see if the game will toss up more references to the BCU or maybe other Renaissance art. I mean, hey, we've got More, which is an obvious reference to Thomas More, who wrote the IRL book Utopia around the same time Bosch was painting whatever this is. I'll keep my eyes peeled as I continue to play the game, which I am doing over on Twitch, by the way. And all those VODs are on my VOD channel. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Regardless, let me know what you find in the comments. I'm sure there are also weird Persona or SMT things that are also references that I just thought were weird. Okay, bye! And dear God, I will be buying a fan for this room.